Alright, guys. It's Wednesday. What's today's date? October what? 14? It's October 14. Welcome to Flav Orellana's MMA show. I'm your host, Flav Orellana. And you're like, why are you doing an MMA show? You haven't even done the football show yet. I'll tell you why. Breaking news that has happened so far today. We're going to have a Conor McGregor fight. But unfortunately, it's not going to be in 2020. Conor McGregor is going to fight Dustin Poirier. Yes, I said it. It was breaking news. Conor accepted the offer. Dana White was not budging at all. I said in the previous video that Dana White should probably have him down for the December card. Maybe even the November card, but November was going to be pushing it too quickly. But he's going to be fighting January 23rd. Now, why is this a big deal? This is going to be the rematch between Dustin Poirier versus Conor McGregor. Last time they both fought. I think by then should be like close to 7 years. Since they last fought. Completely different. Dustin Poirier has improved. More skills. More to offer in that fight. Bigger name. Conor McGregor. Huge megastar. Is known all over the world. And last time we did see Conor McGregor, he fought, this past January against Donald Cowboy Cerrone. Now, Donald Cowboy Cerrone is one of those guys that's been unfortunately on a losing streak. I mean, it ended up stopping, due to a draw, but would have lost against Nico Price if it wasn't for the eye pokes. But this would be, I was gonna say Dustin's. Yeah, it could be Dustin's a really good test for Dustin. But this is going to be Conor's biggest test since the Khabib fight. I can't really say that it was a test that he had against Cowboy, because that match ended in 40 seconds. But, yeah, so we're finally going to have Conor versus Dustin Poirier, part 2. Now, how do I see this fight going? I'm not going to go there yet. I'm going to save it for when the fight gets closer and closer. Just because I'm going to break down film. I'm going to probably rewatch that Conor versus Dustin fight. Maybe a good like 5 or 6 times. Breaking it down really, really well to see, what to look for. And breaking down, some of Conor's fights, after that. Along with some of Dustin's fights. Dustin Poirier ended up recently had. Not recently. More or less like, like a month or two. 2 months, yeah. Fought an amazing fight with Dan Hooker. So, I mean, do I expect a fight like that with Conor McGregor? I don't know. I don't know if Conor's chin might be able to hold up with Dustin. I mean, Dustin gets into these crazy fights. He gets into these crazy brawls. I mean, look at that Max Holloway fight that he had. That was an amazing fight. But look, we finally get what we want. We finally get to see Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier. Conor McGregor is always a big show. And here's the caveat to this. Conor McGregor says that he wants to fight not in Vegas, not in Fight Island, although I could never see him fighting in Fight Island with his relationship with the Muslim community. He wants to fight in Dallas. He wants to fight in the American Airlines Arena? No, not there. Let's make it bigger. Let's bring as many people as possible in a huge stadium. Jerry's World, Dallas Cowboys Stadium. How about that? That's where he wants to fight. I'm all for it. The Dallas Cowboys are already having fans in attendance. They recently announced that they're going to have up to 50% capacity. Fans. Fans that are going to be able to show up within close to 50% of capacity. So that's big news right there. That arena is huge. Even if you have half the stadium, filled up, that's still a lot of fans right there. There's going to be plenty of more fans that you're going to have in the Dallas Cowboys Stadium as opposed to the T-Mobile Arena. So why not we do it there? I mean, yeah, boxing matches that happened there before, but you never had a UFC fight there before. I think this could change the trajectory on how the UFC is going to plan out fights. I saw the WWE do it. Now whenever they have like WrestleMania, they always do it in a football stadium. Will the UFC do that? I believe that they will. There's going to be plenty of money to be made. Dana White, Mick Maynard, Sean Shelby, they're just seeing dollar signs, all over the place right now. Because if they have that with fans, the gate is going to go up. If they have fans, I will be in attendance for that fight. I will fly out to Dallas. I will fly out from New York to Dallas to watch that fight. I'll bring Javier with me. We'll vlog it out. It should be a must see type of a must see type of event. I'm just wondering who's gonna be in the rest of that card. I know it's too early. I know Dana White's probably scrambling right now. Let's just try to get fights. If I had to pick a suggestion, bring in Max Holloway into that card. He hasn't fought since July. Or bring in no, they really wouldn't do it. The UFC really doesn't want to put any champions on a Conor McGregor card. Just like I said in the previous video about the points, the pay-per-view points, you got to distribute it out with champions. I was just going to say Alexander Volkanovski, but no. I could see Max Holloway versus Calvin Kattar. You could definitely do that. I mean, depending on how this Saturday's card is going to be between Ortega versus a Zombie, you could definitely put like a Max Holloway versus the loser of that fight. But we're just getting too far ahead of ourselves with that. But yes, Conor McGregor is fighting January 23rd against Dustin Poirier. That should be epic. There's going to be plenty of fans. You're probably definitely going to see anything above $1.5 million buys. So this is huge for the UFC. The UFC is definitely going to get a huge chunk of money off of Conor fighting. And that's what we want to see. We want to see Dustin make his money. He's probably going to get his biggest payday ever. Anytime Conor fights, it's a big spectacle. The UFC is going to make tons of money out of this thing. Everybody wins. So yeah, so that's that. I can't see the UFC saying no to fighting in Dallas. I know they're going to have to go through they're going to have to go through regulations, talk to the athletic commissions and stuff like that. All that little talk. But right now, at least Conor finally accepted. Now we can move on forward. What's going to happen with, UFC 255, UFC 256. So, speaking of UFC 256, we have some big news in the bantamweight division. Yes. If you guys are guessing, Petr Yan is going to be fighting. That is the bantamweight champion of the world. The pride of Russia, right? At 135, he is going to be fighting in Las Vegas versus from Uniondale, Aljamain Sterling. Thank the Lord, because you know what, I felt like Dana White was going to screw Aljamain Sterling over. I'm extremely happy that he's getting what he deserves. He put Corey Sandhagen to sleep in 30 seconds back in June. Aljamain Sterling was the biggest winner this past Saturday because Corey Sandhagen ended up knocking out Marlon Moraes. If Marlon Moraes would have ended up winning, he would have been the number one contender because of the fact that Marlon knocked out Aljo, but Aljo made Corey, go to sleep back in June. So the fact that Corey knocked out Marlon, now it's going to seem like Marlon Moraes is going to be he's going to be going down in the rankings. Corey Sandhagen most likely is going to be able to fight either Frankie Edgar or TJ Dillashaw, which goes back into what I was saying before about what's going to happen for that January card. You could put TJ Dillashaw versus Corey Sandhagen as a number one contender fight to see who's going to fight the winner between Yan versus Sterling. This is going to be huge for the UFC. This is absolutely huge to begin with. I can't wait for that fight. I mean, that's going to be a great matchup. I mean, you saw what Petr Yan ended up doing to Jose Aldo. I don't see him doing that to Aljamain Sterling. All right. By the way, that was bad reffing in that matchup between Yan versus Aldo. I mean, I doubt that referee's refereeing anytime soon for the UFC, if not ever. But yeah, that's going to be epic. I can't wait. I mean, Yan always puts on a show. You saw what he did to Uriah Faber. You saw what he did to Jose Aldo. All right. Will it be the same result that he does to Aljamain Sterling? We will find out December 12th. But yeah, Aljo got the golden ticket. Let's see if he uses it right. Let's see if he walks out with that belt. If not, it's going back to Russia, and Petr Yan is going to walk out with that belt. But I'm not going to make any type of predictions at this point. I'll make predictions in December. Moving on. The most famous fighter this past week, the most viral fighter this past week, Joaquin Buckley. All right. Now, why am I talking about him again? Yes, he had the most retweets out of anybody in the UFC. Dana White said that, he broke all types of records on Twitter with impressions, clickbaits, retweets, you name it, mentions. He's going to be fighting for UFC 255 in November. Who is he going to be fighting? Jordan Wright. I mean, look, we're 5 days removed since he last fought. This is great. Get him more fights. Fans want to see him fight more. I told you that Kevin Holland fight, I was like, wow, we might have something right here. Then when he did the Impa Kasanganov, I mean, like, now you got a star. I mean, this guy, works at Walgreens. He works at Walgreens overnight. Still fighting for the UFC. He's gonna be making his third appearance, his first pay-per-view appearance. So he's gonna make a bigger check at this point. Hopefully, he doesn't have to work for Walgreens after that pay-per-view fight. But yes, now Joaquin Buckley finally is gonna get more exposure now at the national stage. On a pay-per-view where more eyeballs are going to be, focused on him. People are probably going to be like, oh, this is the guy that had the amazing knockout. Let's buy this card. I want to see this guy fight. I mean, that card is going to have Valentina versus Maya. And you're going to have Davison Figueiredo versus Alex Perez. You got Brandon Royval versus Brandon Moreno. I mean, the card is looking so far decent. It's starting to build up. But yeah, Joaquin Buckley on that card is going to be, more eyeballs are going to be brought into that card. I can't wait to see Joaquin Buckley fight. If it's anything that he has showed in the last two fights, then yeah, this should be a pretty good card. Joaquin Buckley is right now 11-3, and he's facing Jordan Wright, who's 11-0, undefeated. I'm very, very excited to see what's going to happen. Like I said, if Joaquin Buckley shows anything that he showed in the last two fights, then Jordan Wright has a long night ahead of him, because this guy has, power in both hands. He throws recklessly, but he's pretty accurate, and he has a high kick. And obviously, this guy has leg power because of what he did to Impa Kasanganov. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I had to break that news between Conor. I had to break the news between Aljo versus Petr Yan. Yeah, by the way, I forgot to mention Petr Yan versus Aljo is going to be for the co-main event. So I wonder what's going to be for the main event. Is it still going to be Amanda? Are they going to try to push in a third title fight? Who knows? Maybe they're going to bring in Jorge Masvidal versus Colby Covington and put the BMF title, at stake and make that a main event fight. Who knows? But right now, the UFC is looking hot. It's hotter than baseball. It's hotter than the NBA. It's hotter than football at this point. The UFC is popping at this point. So, without further ado, I'm Flav Orellana. Thank you for watching Flav Orellana's MMA show. And please like and subscribe. Hit that like and subscribe button. And I will put out a video most likely on Friday for my predictions for this upcoming fight between Brian Ortega versus Korean Zombie and the rest of that card. All right, you guys have a good night, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.